see you next time on Chase Australia.
China's ugly new shot in an escalating trade war. Tonight, Beijing takes aim at Australian wine, taxed up to 200%, a crushing blow to another industry. Vaccine hope on track for a March rollout despite a major glitch in a leading COVID trial. NRL star Jarrod Hayne takes a stand at his rape trial, his defence and the phone call to a State of Origin star. Cruising into retirement, the new plan for Sydney's famous Manly ferry fleet. Christmas shopping bargains, the discount card slashing prices on hundreds of items. And cricket returns to the SCG and the Aussie batsmen dominate India.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Angela Cox.
Good evening. China has fired a new and damaging shot in its trade war with Australia. It slapped massive tariffs on our wine exports worth more than $1.2 billion a year. The new taxes, starting tomorrow, could hike up the price of Australian wine by more than 200%, making it almost unaffordable in China.
It's the latest in an increasingly bitter breakdown of trade, China launching swift and savage tariffs.
This is a very distressing time for many hundreds of Australian wine producers.
Ranging from 107 to 212%, pushing up a $20 bottle of Aussie wine to $60.
To get this sudden interim decision we found devastating. Shipments will slow or stop immediately.
It's our biggest overseas wine market, almost 40% of exports. Beijing claims Australia is dumping wine, selling it cheaper in China than in Australia, undercutting Chinese producers. Our government says those claims are false, the tariffs grossly unfair.
It is wrong.
But not unexpected, with China punishing Australia for political reasons like our support for Hong Kong, an inquiry into COVID-19 and moves to counter Chinese agents and influence. They've already hit exports of beef, coal and sugar, among others, all despite a free trade agreement worth $240 billion. Far from dumping the cheapest wine,
we know that you send some of the highest priced wines to China.
Among the big losers, Treasury Wine Estates, owner of Penfolds and Wolf Blass, its shares down almost 13% today before calling a trading halt.
If this is going to become a long-term thing, then it's definitely going to impact on the wineries.
There might be some small upside for Australian consumers, while we most definitely won't see a price drop. Some of the wines that have been in short supply because so much of it was sent to China will now be a little bit easier to get hold of.
We'll see Penfolds obviously being a little bit more available, we hope, because it's been tough the last few years.
Canberra will demand an explanation, appealing to the World Trade Organisation if necessary, but for now, Red China might do without Aussie Reds. Evan Batten, 7 News.
A hiccup over the effectiveness of the Oxford University COVID vaccine won't stop Australia's rollout in March. New human trials have been ordered after a mix-up in the lab. The government also wants Australians stuck overseas to have access.
Stephanie Kane is stranded in the UK with her 3 children, the youngest just 6 weeks old.
It's pretty frustrating. We've had our flights booked since July.
4 cancellations later, she's desperate to come home.
We just want to get our lives back sorted in Australia.
Stephanie is one of thousands of Aussies stuck overseas.
The Prime Minister said he would have Australians home for Christmas.
26,000 wanted to come home in September. Since then, 35,000 have returned. Now another 36,000 have registered.
We're meeting the amounts that we hope to achieve by Christmas. It's just that more people are looking to come home.
For those unable to return, the federal government is now looking at ways to provide them with a free COVID vaccine.
Our goal is to protect all Australians, no matter where they are.
But a slight setback in one of the most promising candidates. US scientists have raised concerns about the effectiveness of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. It follows a manufacturing error on doses administered during the trials. Now the company is redoing them.
When you started to look closer, not everything seemed to add up.
Australia has purchased 33.8 million doses of the UK Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, 10 million of the American Pfizer vaccine, 40 million for Novavax, both due for release early next year, 51 million for the University of Queensland's candidate, likely rolled out from July, and another 25 million in reserve.
We've had strong evidence of safety strong evidence of effectiveness.
Despite the delay, 7 News can reveal that top officials met in Canberra today and approved the rollout of the first vaccines to go to medical professionals and possibly the elderly in March next year. Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
As senior ministers push the Premier to go further in relaxing COVID rules, Sydney's pub barons are asking Gladys Berejiklian to name a date for bigger crowd limits. With the state going almost 3 weeks with no local cases, publicans say they're sick of ad hoc announcements and want a roadmap for summer.
The season of the Christmas catch-up, traditionally hospitality's most important trading month.
The whole sector's hurting, Chris. This is a key trade period of the year.
With claims the 4 square metre rule is killing business, parliamentarian turned publican Craig Laundy has joined the push to get his former Liberal colleagues to relax restrictions and generate trade and jobs.
We're trying to get Gladys to allow us to go to 1.2 square metres.
The Premier's ad hoc announcements on the easing of restrictions aren't working, Laundy says. The public needs more clarity.
A roadmap. Yeah, I think my industry and the state more broadly needs a roadmap.
Pubs Baron Justin Hems said if the rule was changed, he could employ 1,500 extra staff overnight. New South Wales today recorded its 20th day straight with no community transmission, the 34th without a mystery case. The industry is asking, what will it take to allow a change? But from government...
We've got a Premier who has followed the incredible advice of health right through this pandemic, and she saved us all.
Few know the pain of the risks involved, like Apollo Restaurant Potts Point, a one-time hospitality hotspot.
It was a real shock, a visit from the COVID ferry.
Co-owner Sam Christie says they have bounced back, but they'd welcome the 2 square metre rule. Still, they aren't complaining.
It's hard to get down about our situation when we look to, the UK and, and the rest of Europe.
Mask-free Victoria was celebrating its own milestone today, 28 days with no new cases. Technically, it means they've eradicated the virus.
Well, I hope it doesn't come back.
Important news nationally too. After 40 million virtual medical consultations through the COVID year, the federal government has announced that telehealth will now become a permanent fixture in the Medicare system, years ahead of its intended start date.
For Australian patients, that's transformative.
And one final bonus, after waiving the COVID rules for celebrities and sports stars, a gift from health chiefs.
Santa Claus has been granted an exemption to enter New South Wales.
Queensland is yet to confirm the same. Chris Reason, 7 News.
Thousands of Sydney train passengers were left stranded this morning and fuming about long delays. The commuter chaos was triggered by a snap strike over safety fears for the network's new inner-city fleet.
A Friday false start.
And lo and behold, I get here at 6 o'clock and the board says no trains. You got to be kidding.
Bradley Deacon, one of thousands abandoned after a snap strike.
I've just looked at an Uber and it's $182 to get there.
The unscheduled industrial action sprung on commuters and the government. Workers walking off the job just after midnight, protesting plans to test a fleet of 55 new intercity trains.
We had heard that they were going to do this trialling this morning at 8 a.m.
The union claiming security cameras will replace guards.
We will obviously be running over people and maiming or worse, killing them.
We're not going to be putting trains on tracks, which is dangerous.
The planned 24-hour strike called off after 5, the government capitulating, cancelling the trial.
For goodness sake, wildcat strikes forcing crowding on commuter services in the middle of a pandemic, I'm not happy about.
Well, last night's industrial action was swift. The stoush over these new trains has been running for years. The government consistently casting doubt over the union's safety concerns, saying it's more worried about its members' jobs.
What this has been all about from the get-go is the concern that, there'd be a loss of jobs because of the technology.
Both sides of the track will meet Monday, the union not ruling out further industrial action, the government not ruling out legal action. Amelia Brace, 7 News.
NRL superstar Jarrod Hayne has taken the stand in his rape trial, testifying he never intended to hurt his alleged victim and that what happened was consensual. The court heard Hayne called another State of Origin star to sound off about the woman, who he thought was starting to make things up.
I call Jarrod Hayne, and with those words, the former league star was invited to tell jurors his version of he said, she said. She was keen, pretty upfront. He had left a Bucks weekend, drunk, on the way to Sydney, and says the woman's mother showed him into the young woman's bedroom. She was on her bed. I tried to get a bit of small talk happening. I could feel she was nervous. How did you feel? Awkward. What did you intend to do? Best case scenario, I'd be having sex with her. Hayne agreed she was hesitant when she realised his taxi was waiting, telling him, "Did you think you were just going to come here and have sex with me?" But he testified after watching the end of the NRL Grand Final with her mother, he returned to the bedroom where they engaged in consensual sexual activity. You know she has given evidence that she said don't, or no, or stop. Yes. Did she? No. Then the woman was injured. Did you think anything you were doing might hurt her? No. Hayne told the court he was attentive but left, and when she messaged him 2 days later asking why he didn't stop when she said no, I was fuming by that stage, yes. I could tell she was starting to make up something that wasn't true. Phone intercepts with New South Wales Origin teammate Mitchell Pearce reveal Hayne called her a weirdo. She was just filthy that I left her.
Hayne's lawyer reminded the jury his client does not need to prove his innocence, that prosecutors need to prove his guilt. He also said Jarrod Hayne is not compelled to testify, but chose to. That testimony continues next week. In Newcastle, Robert Ovadia, 7 News.
Auburn's former Deputy Mayor Salim Mahaja will spend Christmas in jail. The property developer arrived at court this morning but was taken into custody at the end of the hearing. Mahaja's been on bail since being found guilty of perverting the course of justice back in October, but a judge today revoked that bail. The court heard Mahaja will likely spend another stint behind bars when he's sentenced next year. A retired Special Forces commander has launched a blistering attack on the Chief of the Defence Force following the damning war crimes report. Heston Russell says it's disgusting that he and his colleagues will be stripped of special awards while those in charge could keep theirs.
At the place considered sacred ground by Australian veterans, retired Commando Heston Russell launches a new attack.
And that is one of the most disgusting demonstrations of senior leadership that has made me very disappointed to call myself a military veteran.
A stinging assessment of the Chief of the Defence Force after moves to revoke unit awards in the wake of the damning Brereton war crimes report.
To strip all over 3,000 Special Forces personnel for the action of 19 is not only disgusting, it's un-Australian.
If we knew then what we know now, the unit would not have received or been put forward for a meritorious unit citation.
Despite alleging Special Forces soldiers murdered 39 Afghans, the report largely clears the military top brass of any wrongdoing. But Heston Russell believes, as commander of all forces in Afghanistan, the general should lose his Distinguished Service Cross.
It's important that not only is there accountability in the Defence Forces for individual alleged acts, but also in the chain of command.
Refusing to be drawn on whether he should resign, Lieutenant General Burr today confirmed that 13 serving members of the Special Air Service Regiment implicated in the report now face the sack. Issued with termination notices, they have 14 days to respond. Rob Scott, 7 News.
There's been uproar in state parliament with calls of corruption and arrogance following a controversial political tactic. The anger was sparked by the government's refusal to increase funding to the ICAC.
A special sitting of Parliament to pass the budget with a noticeable absentee.
The Premier is not even in the House today,
leaving her coalition colleagues to vote down a funding boost for the ICAC.
The decision made by this government is disgraceful.
Labor and the crossbench passed an amendment in the upper house to give the corruption watchdog an extra $7.3 million.
And I could go on and on about the involvement of these MPs in corrupt activity.
That is outrageous. You should withdraw that, opposition leader, now. That's a disgrace.
And you've been asked to withdraw
I won't withdraw it, Mr Speaker.
The Treasurer says the amendment is unlawful.
They have no power, they can't make amendments, and they should learn their place.
It's not actually your budget. It is actually the people of New South Wales' budget.
To avoid a standoff, the government voted to send the budget straight to the Governor for royal assent without the upper house's approval. It's an extraordinary move that hasn't been used for decades. The parliamentary year now over, one minister suggesting Gladys Berejiklian may need a break more than most after yesterday's shock admission to pork barrelling.
The Premier's had a very long year. She's been under intense pressure and everyone's entitled to make a mistake. If she's had a slip of the tongue, I'm sure she'll be the first to stick her hand up.
Alex Hart, 7 News.
President Trump says he will leave the White House in January if the US Congress confirms his election loss. But he says he won't give up his fight. A defiant president clashed with reporters as Americans marked a major holiday cruelled by the pandemic.
3, 2, 1, let's have a parade!
New York's annual Thanksgiving parade has marched through snowstorms, a Great Depression. Now on empty streets, a pandemic.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
The president spoke by video with soldiers.
You play golf? You love it, right?
Earlier, he'd indulged his own love of the game. But a reporter upset him more.
Don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Taking questions for the first time since November 3rd's election and doubling down on his big claim with little evidence that he won.
It's going to be a very hard thing to concede because we know there was massive fraud.
The president says he will leave the White House if Joe Biden's win is confirmed, but will continue his election fight.
This year we're going to be staying in Delaware with just a small group around our dinner table.
Joe and Jill Biden's Thanksgiving message focused on the pandemic.
From our family to yours, happy Thanksgiving.
God bless you.
Despite all the warnings, this has still been the busiest travel week in America since the start of the pandemic in March. Health experts fearing that the daily death toll could double over the next 10 days, from 2,000 to 4,000 deaths a day.
Have you got a message for America this Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I hope that we all stay safe.
From the country's leading infectious disease doctor.
Australia's done a good job. You guys should be congratulated.
In Washington, D.C., Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Security guards have come under fire after protesters ran onto the Sydney cricket ground during Australia's opening one-day match against India. Play was halted until the pitch invaders were eventually marched off. Questions are now being asked about how the two men managed to make it all the way to the middle of the ground. They have plied the harbour for decades, but most of the famous Manly ferry fleet could soon be sunk and turned into dive sites. Just one freshwater class ferry will be kept, replaced with smaller but more frequent services.
They've carried the Olympic flame and run aground. They've even been hijacked. For almost 40 years, the freshwater class ferries have graced and battled our harbour. Now, the icons are sailing into an unknown future.
Commuters particularly are looking for a faster, more frequent service.
All but one of the famous fleet will be retired. The Coleroy will survive but operate only on weekends and public holidays. Her sisters, Freshwater, Queenscliff and Narrabeen, will be decommissioned.
We want to try and find a happy medium, and I am trying to find compromise.
Maintenance costs have sunk the fleet. It costs up to $5 million to service a freshwater ferry, a fraction of that for its replacement Emerald class. Well, the call is out to would-be ferry operators to run the Coleroy's sisters, and the minister, well, he's open to ideas. But if no one takes up the offer, the next time you see them, you may well need your scuba gear. They could end up dive sites around the coast, like the DY, sunk near Longreef.
This is the first road system in Australia, and the government do not know how to use it properly.
Every international visitor we have here, we always bring them on the Manly Ferry.
And the Maritime Union agrees.
People come to Australia to go jump on the Manly Ferry. It's a rite of passage for every kid to go on the Manly Ferry at summertime.
While the tradition will continue, the look will be very different. The changes will come into effect next year. Peter Fegan, 7 News.
Sally Barry joins us now. Hi, Sal. A heatwave is about to hit.
Yeah, that's right, and we're also being warned of high fire dangers with a total fire ban in place now across parts of the state. Tomorrow, there will be over 20 locations greater than 40 degrees across New South Wales. Menindee, Wilcannia and Hay will all hit 45 degrees. Meanwhile, Western Sydney will be at or over 40 degrees this weekend. On Sunday, it'll be 40 in Liverpool, Blacktown and Richmond. Penrith will reach 41. Now, in terms of records being broken in Sydney, on Saturday evening, Penrith is forecast to stay above 26 degrees, and if that happens, it'll smash the previous record for the hottest November night by 3 degrees. It's not just New South Wales this heat is affecting. The entire southeast is being affected by it over the weekend. Look at all those 40-degree temperatures across countless towns and centres. Still very warm tonight in Penrith after a warm day there. It's currently sitting on 34 degrees, but it feels more like 36 along the coast. It's considerably cooler thanks to that sea breeze, 24 degrees at Bondi. But I'll have details about all the heat this weekend and, of course, when the southerly change will cool us down with the 7-day forecast a little later, Ange.
OK, thanks, Sal. A wild brawl has been caught on camera at a park in Sydney South. Next, 2 men stabbed, 10 others on the run. What triggered the violence? A new twist in the case of a missing Sydney businesswoman. Thirsty work, a woman's wine bottle rampage. See her trail of destruction. Later, major Christmas savings, the card that gives you hundreds of discounts across Sydney. And soon in sport, the Eels' lifeline for league's controversial anti-vaxxer, Bryce Cartwright.
Seven News brought to you by Industry Super Funds.
Pretty soon, the amount of super paid on top of our wages will go up. And up. And up. And up. All the way to 12% guaranteed. That extra money will make a big difference when I retire. Put my feet up. You see, your future is even more super.
I want to offer you a life-changing amount of money.
The champions are back.
$160,000. $250,000.
Who will risk it all?
It's really tough. We don't just give you the money.
To be Australia's greatest quiz champion.
This is the biggest game ever.
This is the grand final. Beat the Chasers. Sunday at 7 on 7.
Take more control over your hay fever. Prevent symptoms before they even start. Try Nutel Nasal Allergy Spray. Its active ingredient binds to receptors in the nasal cavity, preventing congestion, runny noses and sneezing. Try Nutel Nasal.
You're a tough guy, like you're really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so puff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type. I'm the bad guy.
Seltos.
Duh.
Black November ends Sunday at Nick Scali. We must clear our floor stock and discontinued lines up to 30, 40 and 50% off. Our floor stock must go. Limited stock ends Sunday. Black November at all Nick Scali stores. Hurry.
Listen, do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell? I've known a secret for a week or two. Nobody knows, just we two.
Give chocolate secretly to someone you love.
Pippin, the Tony Award-winning high-flying Broadway musical, exclusive to Sydney Lyric. Book at pippinthemusical.com.au.
Healthy skin starts with new Cetaphil Face with hyaluronic acid. It helps protect the health of sensitive skin with cleansers and moisturisers that give gentle, effective daily care. Healthy skin starts with Cetaphil.
Smiths, you know you love them.
Police have denied the search for missing Sydney businesswoman Melissa Caddick is now a murder investigation. The claim was made by her lawyer during a federal court hearing into fraud allegations against the 49-year-old. Ms Caddick vanished from her Dover Heights home more than 2 weeks ago after it was raided by the corporate watchdog and federal police. 2 men have been stabbed in a bloody brawl in Sydney South that started in a children's playground and spilled into the street. Police see security video of the violence but say no one involved is telling them what happened.
As one man tries to make a run for it, a second lies injured on the ground.
It's nothing, bro. I can't.
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Qasim Yusuf was stabbed in the back last night. Just after 8 o'clock, the 25-year-old was knifed in Gardner Park. Cameras then catch a 21-year-old man sprinting away, but he's chased down by 7 others, dragged into the gutter, and in the scuffle, he's also stabbed. As he limps away, his pants are soaked in blood. He took himself to hospital an hour later.
We had to shield our children from seeing all this.
It's quite horrific and a very callous crime. I can say that it appears the victim and the persons involved are probably known to each other.
2 knives were found right beside a children's playground. Police are now trying to get to the bottom of what sparked this violence. They say neither victim is cooperating.
A number of people at the scene at this stage haven't been very forthcoming with information.
It's not just what happened last night that has residents concerned. They say there have been repeated problems in and around this park, and they're worried things may soon get worse. A major redevelopment of the soccer grounds has council approval, but residents claim it will attract more people and more problems.
We want the whole community to be safe.
Andrew Denny, 7 News.
2 passengers have somehow survived being flung from an out-of-control car in India. The spectacular crash was caught on camera, the car flipping wildly after hitting a tree. A dog tied to a leash scurried out of the way just in time as 2 men in the back seat were sent rocketing out the door. Another 5 men then piled out of the upturned vehicle. They were all drunk and not wearing seatbelts. Remarkably, no one was seriously injured. Staff at an Aldi in the UK could do little but watch as a woman smashed hundreds of bottles of alcohol. She remained silent as she dragged wine and spirits off the shelves while horrified customers watched on.
What is she doing?
Police finally moved in and arrested the woman. She was taken to hospital. Her motive is unknown. Fire has destroyed a family home in Sydney's northwest. Next, $3 million up in flames, the race to stop it spreading. Plus, soccer fans in mourning, wild scenes on the streets of Argentina. The big picture, worth big bucks, an Australian art record smashed. How much did it fetch? And Jurassic Park roars back to life. A family favourite venue reopens for the school holidays. That's next.
Do you want to know how it's going to end? We should. It's a good story.
You're talking about an armed robbery.
I'm not going to lose you too. I love you. Nothing will ever change that.
He thinks that I'm into you.
Crazy, huh?
Totally. I have a son.
I'm looking for the Stewarts.
I told him to stay away. Shouldn't be here. He's going to die in there.
But he is a cop.
You really thought you'd get away with it? Constable Thorne.
Hold your breath for the heart-stopping season final of Home and Away, Monday at 7 on 7.
The Rebel biggest Black Friday sale on now. Get the Garmin Phoenix 6 Sport Watch half price, now $4.99. Plus buy one, get one half price on all footwear. There's loads more, but be quick. Sale ends Monday. Rebel, sport is calling.
Oh, sorry, we couldn't find a sitter.
Hey, the more James, the merrier.
Oh, nice place, Louis.
Yeah, sure beats Howard, though. Bon appetit.
What's this? I can't quite put my foot on it.
Authentic street food. Dig in. Uh-oh, party's over, folks.
With added germ kill, Mortein Power Guard's all-in-one spray eliminates insects and 99.9% of the germs they carry.
More smart, more safe, Mortein.
So, love, there's only that robot costume left. Oh, this one.
Make the choice easy with Toyota. Get the improved Prado, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus more power. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell?
Give chocolate secretly to someone you love.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of your shop with Cyber Weekend specials. Plus, all new online customers get $20 off and free contactless delivery when they spend $100 or more. Enter code CYBER at the checkout. Offer ends Monday. Coles. Value the Australian way.
Harvey Norman Big Friday. Big deals store-wide, one day only. Save $30 on the SodaStream Jet Drink Maker, now only $39. That's nearly half price. Hisense king-size 65-inch 4K smart TV. Hot price, only $895. This silver Hisense side-by-side fridge is great value at just $998. Stores open late tonight with more Big Friday deals, plus 60 months interest-free with bonus gift card. At Harvey Norman, do not miss out.
Go! That smell isn't your baby. Dettol washing machine cleaner removes 99.9% of bacteria, leaving your machine hygienically clean and fresh. Try Dettol's new spray and wear. It kills 99.9% of germs on clothes.
It's time for the Super Cheap Auto Black Friday 5-day sale. Get this Mighty Car Mods roller seat for $79.99 and an Alco Limit digital breathalyzer $99.99. Half price.
Some breaking news now about Australian academic Dr. Kylie Moore-Gilbert, who's finally arrived home after being released from an Iranian prison. She touched down in Canberra a short time ago. She spent 2 years behind bars in Tehran but was released in exchange for 3 Iranian prisoners. She's thanked Australian officials for their tireless efforts in securing her freedom. A family is dealing with the shock of losing their home after it was gutted by fire. The multi-million-dollar property in Sydney's northwest will have to be demolished. Investigators spent today picking through the rubble, trying to work out what sparked it.
$3 million up in flames. It was just on dusk last night when the Castle Hill home caught fire. Starting in the garage, it spread quickly, ripping through the 5-bedroom home in a matter of minutes. No one was inside at the time.
Numerous AAA calls were received by Fire Rescue Communications. On their arrival, they found a house with a fire spreading rapidly through the roof.
The fire was fierce, threatening neighbouring homes. The property sits on a large block. It backs onto bushland. The threat there, very real too. It took fire crews 4 hours to control.
Through quick work with the crews, they were able to protect the house next door, but unfortunately they were unable to save the house that was involved in fire.
The Chen families lived in the Neville Court home for 4 years. Today, just a shell. As forensic fire investigators looked through the rubble, nothing salvageable.
The fire is not being treated as suspicious. It's believed to have been started by an electrical fault in the garage. The house will have to be demolished. The Chen family will have to start again. Thankfully, they are insured.
Laura Banks, 7 News.
A 20-year-old man has been jailed for more than 7 years over a violent robbery at Bondi Icebergs. Isaiah Campbell and another man got into a scuffle with cleaners who interrupted them as they ransacked the restaurant office in November last year. Campbell was on bail at the time. He'll be eligible for parole by 2025. Football legend Diego Maradona has been laid to rest in a day of remarkable scenes in Argentina. A crush of fans queuing to see his casket clash with police. Many more lined the streets of Buenos Aires to farewell the 60-year-old they called God.
An Argentinian wake for football's king. For 20 blocks, they sang tens of thousands waiting to see Maradona. His coffin draped in his nation's flag and his famous number 10, a legion of fans. Their passion explosive. Fearing they'd miss out, the crowd surged into the presidential palace. Police unleashed. Rubber bullets, tear gas and water cannon. The public viewing over before Maradona made one last trip through his city. An extraordinary procession, his casket surrounded. Like a state funeral, a farewell through the suburbs. And down the highway, closed just for him. Argentina said goodbye to the legend who carried a country, and today they carried him to a final resting place beside his parents. Overnight, former club Napoli, every player in number 10, paused. The stadium outside lit up by fans who'll never forget. And in the slum where a legend was born, this, eternally, thank you. Emma Dallymore, 7 News.
An anonymous Sydney buyer has paid well over $6 million at auction for a Brett Whiteley painting, an Australian art record. A big price for a big canvas showing the Sydney view from the artist's Lavender Bay studio.
Brett Whiteley's 1975 Henri's armchair, named for Henri Matisse, was never going cheap. Only 30 people in the auction room, but they represented serious money. Bidding opened at $4.5 million.
At $4.6 million I'm bid.
Moving by $100,000 increments.
Make no mistake, we are selling this evening.
And so they did 2 minutes later for $6.136 million, including GST and commission.
Congratulations, Ron. You sold to your product.
Going to a North Shore Sydney family who, understandably, remain anonymous.
The most expensive painting ever sold at auction in Australia by an Australian artist.
Eclipsing the previous record of $5.4 million for Sydney Nolan's first-class marksman. Before that, Whiteley, who died in 1992, was the undisputed record holder. Another of his armchair paintings sold for $3.9 million, while his Olgas sold for $3.4 million. There is no doubt that art can be a good investment. Plenty were surprised when Gough Whitlam approved the $1.3 million purchase of Jackson Pollock's Blue Poles back in 1973. That is today said to be worth $500 million. Henri's armchair was sold by Elizabeth Evatt, widow of barrister and art dealer Clive Evatt. She says it's worth every cent and more. Cameron Price, 7 News.
After bushfires and a pandemic, Sydney's own version of Jurassic Park is back. A prehistoric playground nestled in the Blue Mountains, Dinosaur Valley, has been reimagined and revived just in time for the school holidays.
In Dinosaur Valley lies a forest of history, ancient reptiles brought back to life. The Scenic World event displays the extinct but signifies revival.
It's wonderful to be outdoors again.
This time last year it was anything but pleasant. The Gospers mountain fire had been burning for a month, then came the pandemic.
We had to close for 3 months like many businesses across Australia, and we've been operating on about 25% of our usual visitation since.
Today tourists return to the shadows below the Three Sisters for the first Scenic World event since May last year. Capacity is still only 50%, but they hope that will soon change as the school holidays arrive.
Dinosaurs capture the imagination of everyone. I think regardless of age or where you're from, you're fascinated by dinosaurs.
Tourism contributes about $800 million a year to the Blue Mountains economy, and while it won't fully recover until international visitors are allowed back, it's events like this that will help bring the whole region back to life.
While they're here, maybe grab some dinner, lunch, grab an overnight, stay in a hotel and make the most of the beautiful experience that the Blue Mountains has to offer.
A roaring return for a prehistoric park. Tom Saker, 7 News.
Sydney is bracing for a weekend scorcher with record heat predicted. Next, cooling your home for less. The simple tricks to shave 30% off your power bill. Christmas shopping bargains, the card unlocking hundreds of discounts. Bindi's baby makes her debut. See the heartwarming photo.
In sport, cricket returns to the SCG with a great start for the Aussies against India.
And I'll tell you where Sydney's hottest suburbs will be this weekend with a 7-day forecast soon.
It's time to celebrate this year's end.
What a crazy 12 months it's been.
With a Christmas special so big it spans the nation.
All hands on deck.
We can do something beautiful. 2 amazing makeovers, so many festive ideas.
I'm blown away.
Join us for the Better Homes Christmas special, next up on 7.
This is the Dyson Corral Straightener with manganese copper alloy plates. Invented to flex, shape, and gather for enhanced styling with less damage and even without a cord. Dyson Corral.
Invest with La Trobe Financial, Australia's multi-award-winning wealth manager, returning a current variable rate of 4.5% reviewed monthly on a 12-month investment. Make your money work harder for you. Call 13 80 10.
Black November ends Sunday at Nick Scali. We must clear our floor stock and discontinued lines. Lounges reduced, dining tables reduced, dining chairs reduced, and much more. Limited stock ends Sunday. Black November at all Nick Scali stores. Hurry.
Right now, you can get the LDV T60 Auto for the price of the manual. Feels good, doesn't it? The LDV T60 4x4 Diesel Auto from just $28,990. Visit an LDV dealer today.
Bring on the dirtiness, muddiness, sauciness. And how did that get under theiriness? Because with a great range of cleaning solutions, Godfrey's gives you cleanliness.
Summertime is the perfect time for light and easy. Our new summer menu has over 100 delicious, nutritious meals to choose from, so you can look after your health and enjoy more free time during this busy time of year. And now we're also giving every customer 10 chances to win $10,000, just in time for Christmas. Make summertime the perfect time with Australia's #1 healthy meal delivery service. Order from Light and Easy's summer menu for your chance to win.
Geeks to you saved my life.
Actually, I just saved all these photos. This PC had a virus.
Geeks to you, set up, synced up and sorted out my world.
Well, her IT world at least.
With our new improved download speed, we're streaming every night.
Is there no end to their problem-solving powers?
If there is a problem we can't fix, you don't pay.
They may be geeks to you, but they're miracle workers to me.
Call 1300 Geeks to You and we'll come to you.
Checking the markets now, the ASX 200 closed 35 points lower. Trade tensions with China dampening what's been a positive week for the local share market. Our dollar is buying 73.8 US cents. Fuel prices are falling across Sydney. The average is $1.17.6, but we found regular unleaded as cheap as 99.8 cents at Sydenham. Australians are expected to spend more than $5 billion over the next 4 days, with this year's Black Friday sales event tipped to be our biggest ever. Shoppers crowded stores across Sydney for the start of the buying bonanza, with most retailers offering massive discounts. Apple's AirPods are among the most sought-after items, along with other electronics like TVs and computers, while Myer is already reporting online sales records are being broken by the hour. It's time to switch on the air conditioner as a heat wave hits Sydney. Temperatures are set to soar this weekend, but you don't have to break the bank to keep cool. We can reveal the best ways to stop power costs burning a hole in your pocket.
Sydney side is cooling off as Sydney prepares to heat up.
We have most of New South Wales reaching severe heatwave levels.
Temperatures set to spike, reaching 40 degrees as the first heatwave of the season sweeps the state.
We might potentially see reaching November temperature records.
The warning this weekend:
try to seek cool shelter indoors.
Air conditioning, a cool but sometimes costly solution.
It can be expensive. It costs about 30 to 40 cents an hour to run an air conditioner. There's a really comfortable range between 23 and 26 degrees that you can run it in your house that's really efficient and will save you money.
24 degrees considered the ideal temperature. Every degree below that adds roughly 10% to your electricity bill.
22 to 24 is usually what I tell people.
So to try and keep costs low and the house cool,
turn it on nice and early in the morning, shut the blinds, try to reduce any external heat coming into the house.
For those who don't have air conditioning but want some relief at home during the soaring temperatures, a fan is the quickest and cheapest solution, only costing around 3 cents an hour to run or $6 over an entire summer. And cheaper to install as well.
$29 for an entry-level pedestal fan. You can buy one for every room.
Amber Laidler, 7 News.
Mum-to-be Bindi Irwin has posted a video from her latest sonogram. The 22-year-old says she and husband Chandler Powell can't wait to meet their beautiful daughter.
Wow. You can see her heartbeat there. Oh my goodness. Geez.
The baby girl is due in late March or early April. Christmas is about to get a whole lot cheaper. A new scheme is offering discounts from a range of major retailers, big savings from gift cards to groceries, even power bills. How you can access hundreds of deals. Don't miss that story soon on 7 News. First, Matt Shervington is here with sport, and Shervo, it's almost looking like a normal summer's on the way.
Yes, Ange, that's right. We're getting there. Cricket's back at the SCG with half a crowd. Coming up, all of the highlights, including Finch's 100 and sixes rained off the bats of Smith and Maxwell in the first one-dayer. And Mike Tyson admits he can't control what he'll do to Roy Jones Jr. on Sunday.
Yesterday, a wizard entered New York with a case full of magical creatures, and unfortunately, some have escaped.
2 Fantastic Beasts movies over 2 massive nights. The original tonight, the premiere tomorrow. See the whole Fantastic Beasts story, starting tonight on 7.
Oh, should I? With great flavour and 50% less fat, it's easy to say, oh yes. Go on. Say yes to new Smith's Oven Baked.
Protect the moments that matter. Dettol household grade disinfectant kills germs on floors and household surfaces. Tested effective against COVID-19 virus.
Black November ends Sunday at Nick Scali. We must clear our floor stock and discontinued lines. Lounges reduced, dining tables reduced, dining chairs reduced, and much more. Limited stock ends Sunday. Black November at all Nick Scali stores. Hurry.
At Autobarn, get at least 20% off store-wide this Friday and Saturday. Plus, take 50% off Castrol Edge 5W30 engine oil, just $35.99. And this trolley jack is $19.99. Only during our Black Friday event, ending Saturday at Autobarn.
So, I need a holiday.
Do you?
Yeah, for Australia.
What about the outback?
Yes.
We could catch our own lunch.
I know exactly what you mean.
We should just go somewhere we've always wanted to go.
Yes. Oh, honey, I could teach the kids to surf.
You don't know how to surf.
Yeah, I mean, obviously someone would teach me and then I would pass on the wisdom.
Plan a holiday here this year for Australia.
Tonight, I'll be eating crispy cauliflower tacos with red cabbage and pineapple salsa. Legend. All right then, let's get you spayed.
Could it get any bigger than this? Yes, it can. With the BCF Black Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday sale. You beauty! Save $60 on this Wanderer 25-litre icebox. How cool's that?
BCF in fun. Hey! On Weekend Sunrise, full house. Australia's holiday hotspots swamped, but we have the vacancy rates where you can get in before it's too late from 7 a.m.
Welcome back. Virat Kohli fumed as Australia's batsmen put the heat right on India in today's first one-dayer at the SCG. Aaron Finch scored the first ton of the summer and Steve Smith made a virtuoso 63-ball century. The tourists are chasing 350 plus to win tonight.
259 days since the crowdless one-dayer jolted us into lockdown, cricket returned to the SCG. Like an Indian home ground these days, but the new barefoot circle reinforces this is Australian turf. Kohli versus Smith resumes. They honoured the maverick Dino. Finch won the toss and straight out of quarantine.
Shot.
Warner and his skipper were away.
Up ish and wide of mid-off.
Despite a rude interruption by 2 anti-Adani protesters, there was little trouble for Australia's great opening pair. At 4:08, they paused, 6 years to the horrific, fatal day we lost Phillip Hughes. Finch launched past 50, yet another century stand, but he should have been run out for 51.
Kohli. Can't believe it.
Finch only added insult. They ticked past 150 before a contentious dismissal of Warner on 69, a not-out call overturned.
India breakthrough.
The luck changed for Steve Smith on 13.
Close, yeah, that's close.
Saved by a virtual coat of varnish.
Oh, hang on.
Smith took full advantage with some help in the deep.
Should be taken and...
Coley steamed. Smith found his hands all right, 50 from 36. Finch eased to his 17th one-day ton.
Beautifully played for the skipper.
Just as India really unravelled, the captain fell for 114.
If he drops it, there'll be something wrong.
Only allowing Smith and Glenn Maxwell to launch an extraordinary onslaught. It rained sixes.
That could be 6, it is.
45 off 19 for the big show. Smith starts his summer with a knock that only he could play.
Steve Smith picks up his 10th one-day international 100, his 4th versus India.
Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
To celebrate making the WBBL final, the Thunder locked in teen sensation Phoebe Litchfield for 2 more years. Closing on the Thunder's 143, Brisbane Heat seemed to be cruising in last night's semi-final, but the Heat's chase went cold with 2 run-outs in 1 over.
And she's gone! The Thunder are fighting back!
Player of the match, Hannah Darlington, snared 3 wickets. Sammy Jo Johnson closing out the 12-run victory. The Thunder face the Melbourne Stars in tomorrow night's final at North Sydney Oval. The horse trading continues in the NRL with Bryce Cartwright thrown a lifeline by Parramatta. Having flopped at the Titans, Cartwright made headlines during the COVID lockdown for his anti-vax stance. A teenage prodigy with Penrith, Cartwright joins former Panthers Regan Campbell-Gillard and Wonga Blake.
It was a pretty easy decision in the end. Sort of left here knowing that I wanted to be here, and it helped knowing a handful of the players as well.
Manly have signed Dragons winger Jason Saab for 3 years, and Cameron Munster had an interrupted off-season celebration to claim a wicket during a cricket cameo on the Sunshine Coast. Not a bad one either. It was a sombre morning across Europe as football teams showed their respect for Diego Maradona. Premier League leaders, Tottenham's 4-0 win over Bulgarian champions included Harry Winks' accidental long-range goal. Arsenal and Leicester reached the knockout stage, and Argentina want to do it for Diego against the All Blacks in Newcastle tomorrow night. Maradona was a regular visitor in the Pumas dressing room. Roy Jones Jr. has 2 days to reconsider a very bad idea. That's fighting a rebuilt, revamped, but still seemingly insane Mike Tyson. Looking fit, the 54-year-old Iron Mike is taking the so-called exhibition fight very seriously.
I'm the greatest fighter since the conception of God. How could I not pick this opportunity up?
A world champ in 4 different divisions. Jones is no slouch, but Tyson is firm favourite. And Ange, 15 long years since Mike was in the ring. And I've got to say, he's looking fitter than he was back then.
Yeah, there's no way you'd get in a ring with him. Okay.
Strong.
Thanks, Shervo.
Scary.
Yeah. A new savings scheme for seniors is set to make Christmas shopping a whole lot cheaper. Hundreds of discounts are on offer on a range of household expenses, including electricity, gas and hardware, making the festive season much more affordable.
Buying flowers and groceries, keeping fans and air conditioners running, internet and mobile phone plans for less. Seniors are being given a helping hand.
Christmas is coming up, every dollar counts. Dollar Dazzlers for senior card members means so much.
With that discount, it makes it a bit more, viable.
With the cost of living a growing challenge, the New South Wales Government is offering seniors card holders a raft of discounts from major retailers.
Make sure it's straight.
To stimulate spending and make the festive season more affordable.
It's beautiful. If it's cheaper, of course, we always look for discount.
Simply Energy is giving seniors a 21% discount on electricity, 11% on gas. Aussie Broadband, $10 off selected NBN plans for 6 months and 10% off Pennytel for all mobile plans. Also, 5% discount on gift cards at Woolworths, IGA and Mitre 10 to buy whatever.
We know that plants and paint are the most popular of our seniors to purchase.
To get the savings you want, go to the Seniors Card website and click on Christmas Dazzlers and select the deal you want. It's all well explained. Helen Wellings, 7 News.
Sally's back now, and Sal, we are bracing for a weekend of high heat and fire dangers.
Yeah, that's right, Ange. Temperatures will soar to 41 degrees for some suburbs tomorrow. I'll tell you where with the 7-day forecast next.
It's time to celebrate this year's end.
What a crazy 12 months it's been.
With a Christmas special so big it spans the nation.
All hands on deck.
We can do something beautiful. 2 amazing and very Aussie makeovers.
Wow.
Packed with ideas.
Terrific.
Bringing colour to any home.
I'm blown away.
And festive ideas for a happy holidays.
Christmas is shaping up to be pretty special this year.
Join us for the Better Homes Christmas special, next up on 7.
Massive in-store and online savings at Petstock. Royal Canin dog and cat food range 30% off, plus bonus DIY dog wash. Greeny's dental treat range 30% off, plus bonus DIY dog wash. Hurry, Petstock's Black Friday sale ends Monday. Conditions and exclusions apply.
Meet the crew. They got their own way of betting. And this is me. I've always got the answer.
Get PointsBet's new racing form from RaceNet. PointsBet, offers you won't believe, moments you'll never forget.
Look around. As the favourites come out, it begins. Observing with an eagle eye. Mastering the art of stashing. Brilliant Ove Grand. Cadbury favourites. Everyone gets their favourites.
Harvey Norman Big Friday. Save $150 on this Acer Spin laptop, now $298. Save over $500 on the Samsung 49-inch Odyssey G9 gaming monitor, now $2,294. Samsung Galaxy A51, now $429, save $170. Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus, now $168, save $130. Stores open late tonight with more Big Friday deals, plus 60 months interest-free with bonus gift card. Big Friday at Harvey Norman.
Chemist Warehouse are having a Black Friday sale this Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Get an extra 10% off all big brands store-wide. That's right, an extra 10% off store-wide for 3 days only at Chemist Warehouse.
Somebody just knocked at my door. I want this package there. Oh, this is dope. Wait, there's a massive stain on it. And this vanish. I feel like this is some kind of challenge. Let's go figure this out. Add half a scoop to cold water. Let's see if we can get this stain out. Yeah, I actually can't believe how quick it's working. So I got the jumper on now. I'm actually feeling this.
For amazing results, just cold wash with Vanish Oxy Action.
So much. Darling, looks great.
Looks pretty good, eh?
Food's almost ready. Put it on. Yay.
Bring home a little magic this Christmas.
Leaking home microwaves. 1 in 3 now a kitchen danger. Australia's leading expert comes clean on 7 News, Monday.
Tonight's 7 News headlines. Australian academic Kylie Moore-Gilbert has touched down in Canberra tonight after being released from prison in Iran. China has slapped tariffs of up to 200% on Australian wine in a major escalation of our ongoing trade war. Jarrod Hayne has taken a stand in his rape trial, saying the activity was consensual. And Sydney's famous Manly ferry fleet has all but retired, replaced by a new generation of upgraded vessels. Now here's Sally with Sydney's weather.
Thanks for that, Ange. Well, total fire bans have been issued across parts of New South Wales this weekend, with extreme heat hitting the state. Today in the city, though, we reached a top of 26 degrees. It was fairly muggy too, humidity sitting around 75% today. Now, there was certainly a big difference from west to east, that sea breeze failing to push past those coastal suburbs. Penrith was a much warmer 34 degrees today, and it's still around 30 degrees there at the moment. Now, the reason for the heat is a trough that's dragging heat right from that northwestern corner of Australia down to the southeastern corner of the country. That heat has really been building up under cloud-free skies in the north over the last couple of weeks. And it's not just us that's seeing the heat. Residents across Victoria, South Australia and also Queensland are seeing extreme November temperatures. In fact, today in Queensland, Birdsville reached 47 degrees. And a lot of the areas that are hit by this heatwave over the weekend have actually been unusually dry this month, receiving less than 20% of their average November rainfall. Around the capitals tomorrow, very hot once again in Adelaide, which won't be great for the fire situation. We do have some showers developing in there. Brisbane should be mostly sunny though, 29 degrees. Showers at times for Canberra, 34 the top. Now, across New South Wales, temperatures will absolutely soar tomorrow to 45 degrees across that lower west and also Riverina. Broken Hill will actually reach 44 degrees tomorrow, which will be a record if they reach that. It unfortunately will also be very gusty at times, very dry winds, which could also be gale force, and that will potentially trigger dust storms and also very dangerous fire conditions across that part of the state. Tomorrow, several Sydney suburbs will reach 41 degrees, including Liverpool, Bankstown, Penrith and also into Richmond. Along the coast, that sea breeze will still be strong enough just to keep that heat at bay, particularly around Bondi and Manly, 32 degrees there. On the water tomorrow, northerly winds around 15 to 25 knots, and that swell will just be around 1.5 metres, although it will rise into the afternoon. It will stay warm in the city tonight. We're expecting a balmy 20 degrees overnight. Tomorrow, hot and mostly sunny is certainly the story. We've got those northerly winds kicking in that will push temperatures up to 36 degrees. Sunday in the city, even warmer, 39 degrees, 41 degrees in the west. Then we've got that southerly change. That is set to push through Sydney at around 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. It'll drop temperatures by around 10 degrees, but unfortunately, Ange, we've got some storms forecast too, so we're basically going to get everything.
Good stuff. OK, thanks so much, Sal. That is 7 News for this Friday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening, and Weekend Sunrise is from 7 a.m. I'm Angela Cox. From all of us here, thanks so much for your company. Have a great night.